Remember that they're changing my voice? This is part 2. Now imagine if you were to turn on your TV and you go to the game, a football game, basketball, baseball, what have you, and instead of the game you see a gay parade with people acting very unfocused and immature. Or you saw an English ceremony, like the coronation of King Charles, but it's not necessarily a coronation, it's just a formal ceremony with long, boring speeches with people trying to pretend that they're important, and that's all they seem to care about. It would be stupid, right? You'd say, what the hell? If you paid money for it, a pay-per-view or something, you want your money back. You say, that's not how it's supposed to be. That's not entertainment. Now, with things that are far more important than entertainment, again, far more important than entertainment, do you want some nonsensical show? Or do you want reality? When we look at black people, right, they're called soul brothers, not because of Chris Rock and his culture, because of certain types of black people, which are almost all gone these days. They were soul brothers before, the males, right, before they came to America. So the soul of the human race was with black people. This caused people like Hitler to be extremely infuriated and to lash out because they were not raised right and they were far too immature to accept that. God's order was a black spiritual order. And there was these martial artists and healers and so on and so forth in Africa. And a lot of white people try to chop it up to, hey, they're poor and dirty and they have a spear and da-da-da-da-da. Okay? That's retarded. It's very immature of them. Very immature. It's more accurate to say that the churches are just centers for child molestation than it is to chop up African history to what the racists would chop it up to. And every academic knows that beyond a reasonable doubt. Period. So when you cheat black people in regards to martial arts, right? Cheat me out of my right to lead. Who cares about whitewashed black people, doing whitewashed martial arts, right? They're not very deep, right? It's the gay parade instead of the football game effect. It's the, whitewashed, gay-washed, Jew-washed, token minorities doing martial arts, or the thug with no higher cause, instead of the true soul brother, who's the top martial artist ever. It's a cheap ripoff. It's cultural appropriation. It's stupid. It's pathetic. No offense to anybody. These are the facts. Now let's look at the fruit of that same way of thinking. So if the white establishment is wrong, then we should be able to tell by their actions, their deeds, their fruits, right? Their products. So what has the Western system produced here in America, which is the most influential Western country in the world? The most. And the most populated Western country in the world. The most. Well, there's a ridiculous amount of porn. There's a ridiculous number of child molesters. A bunch of people are incarcerated, a huge incarcerated population. There are people called dumb jocks that have evil neo-Roman brute cultures. No offense to anybody. There's a bunch of sluts everywhere. Corporate psychos everywhere. Freemasons who basically are cultural imperialists who conserve their Masonic traditions. Countless Masons own slaves. Countless Masons, lynched people and so on and so forth. Nathan Bedford Forrest, who started the Klan, was a Mason. And here they are shamelessly continuing their cultures of white supremacy, and some Masonic lodges are white only to this day. Disgraceful as it gets. There's emos and anime fans, and bikers and freaks. They're even called freaks. Rockers, cosplay, frats and sororities, frats and brats, right? There's nerds who in the dictionary are described as foolish and contemptible, boringly studious, worthless, what have you. There's arrogant narcissists everywhere. Hate groups. Over 1,000 hate groups, according to the ADL or something. Unbelievable. There's thugs with no higher cause, biker gangs. There's drug addicts. drunks. These aren't just small groups here and there. When you combine all those groups, that's the majority of the population. The majority of the fruit of their governance is bad. Can you imagine if you had, say, a farm, and the majority of your fruit, the vast majority of the products of the farm was just rotten? You'd want to get rid of that farm, right? You say, hey, this is no good. We got to change something. We got to either sell the farm because it's no good, the land's no good, or we got to change the way we do things. Pretty straightforward. Now imagine people who are so stupid that they find the most righteous person in that culture, or excuse me, not that culture, but that country. It's I transcend the cultures of this land and this planet. My kingdom is not this world. They find the most righteous person and they persecute him. And they say, hey, what's so special about you? Well, first of all, I'm not from any of those groups I just named. My culture, my identity, is the top martial arts as proven from my legal and peaceful top martial arts challenge. It's the most righteous person as proven by my fruits, by my history of universal pinpoint and moral precision. I'm not some leftist who pretends to be gay or who's gay, trying to please the masses. Not some white supremacist or token minority on the right. Not some person who pretends their party is not corrupt in the middle. I live the truth. It says in Psalm 45 that you love righteousness and hate wickedness. Therefore, God, your God, has elevated you above your companions. So you see, who are they to criticize me? There is no speck in my eye, none. But even if there was, the Bible tells you, and common sense tells you, to first remove the plank from your own eye before you remove the speck from your brother's eye. So why are they teaming up against me? Trying to play me out as crazy? Why did they edit my videos and film me and drug me for years? And in spite of that, I kept making videos. I had the wisdom and foresight and the insight to live moral repetition, to please God, to live in the spirit of morality, regardless of what people think and how I look, while others didn't. And they're going to point to a lifetime of conformity and bootlicking and act like that's greater than being persecuted for righteousness' sake. That's how out of touch with reality they are. And part of their problem is cultural. Thank you.